Hollywood, the city of dreams. But behind the glamour of some of its greatest successes lies a dark secret that almost no one knew. What if the success of a film was paid for with a deadly price? A price that claimed the entire cast. This is the shocking story behind the Poltergeist Curse, an investigative journey into the darkest chapter of film history. Welcome to our investigation. If you love cinematic stories like this, subscribe now. Let's unlock the secret. June 1982. Poltergeist takes the world by storm, a masterpiece of horror produced by Steven Spielberg. But the true horror only began when the cameras stopped rolling. It all started with a vision. Spielberg wanted to bring terror to idyllic suburban life, a modern fairy tale that turned into a nightmare. The casting was perfect. Young Heather O'Rourke as Carol Ann became the face of a generation. No one suspected she had only a few years left to live. But the true curse may have had a material origin, a secret buried deep in the prop room, more real than any nightmare. While Steven Spielberg was the mastermind, the script was born from his childhood fears of trees and what might live under the bed. It was a personal ghost story. Tobe Hooper, the creator of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, was hired to direct. But on set, a power struggle emerged. Spielberg was always there, leading many to wonder, who was really in charge? Filming took place in a real neighborhood in Simi Valley. The goal was total realism, but the crew began to feel a strange, oppressive energy in that very house. Equipment failed without explanation. Clocks stopped, lights shattered. The crew started calling it the Poltergeist Jinx, but it was about to get much worse. During the iconic pool scene, actress JoBeth Williams spent days in the mud with skeletons. It wasn't until years later she learned the truth. The studio used real human remains to save money. Real skeletons were cheaper than plastic ones in 1982. Many believe this decision, this lack of respect for the dead, is what truly triggered the curse. During the clown attack scene, the mechanical doll actually malfunctioned, nearly strangling young Oliver Robbins. Spielberg himself had to step in to save the boy's life. By the time production wrapped, the relief was palpable. But as the crew left the set, they didn't realize that for some, the nightmare was just beginning. Poltergeist was a phenomenal success, grossing over $120 million. It was the highest-grossing horror film of 1982. But for the cast, the celebration would be short-lived. Dominique Dunne, who played the eldest daughter Dana, was on the verge of superstardom. She was talented, charismatic, and deeply loved by the cast and crew. Just 5 months after the film's release, tragedy struck. Dominique was murdered by her former boyfriend. She was only 22 years old. This shocking death was the first spark. The media began to connect the on-set mishaps to this real-life tragedy. The legend of the Poltergeist Curse was officially born. Fan letters turned into messages of concern. The public's fascination with the film was now tinged with a genuine sense of dread. People began to ask, was the house truly haunted? Despite the growing unease, MGM moved forward with a sequel, but as the new production began, the shadows from the first film seemed to follow them to the next set. They cast Julian Beck as the villainous Reverend Kane. His skeletal appearance was hauntingly real, because unknown to many, Beck was already dying of cancer. The line between fiction and reality was blurring. The other side wasn't just a movie plot anymore. It felt like it was claiming the people involved one by one. The darkness continued into the production of the sequel. Will Sampson, the Native American actor who performed a real exorcism on the set to protect the crew, died shortly after filming. But the most devastating blow was yet to come. In 1988, before the third film was even released, 12-year-old Heather O'Rourke passed away suddenly from a medical misdiagnosis. With 4 main cast members dead in just 6 years, the Poltergeist Curse was no longer just a media headline. It had become a permanent, tragic part of Hollywood folklore. Critics and historians often point to coincidence and pre-existing medical conditions. But for those who were there, the connection between the real skeletons and the subsequent deaths remains unshakable. Today, Poltergeist remains a masterpiece of horror, but it is a film forever shadowed by the real lives it touched and the lives it seemingly took. A reminder that some stories are best left untold. In the end, the secret of the Poltergeist Curse isn't just about ghosts on a screen. It's a haunting lesson about the price of Hollywood's relentless pursuit of realism. The credits may have rolled, but the mystery lives on. If you enjoyed this investigative journey, Subscribe for more cinematic secrets. Thank you for watching.